Hello friends, this video on weather, climate and adaptations part 2 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So let us see what exactly is weather. How do we define weather? So weather is the state of atmosphere at a location on a daily basis. This is very important. Now, till now I have been telling you that weather and climate are two very confusing terms because a lot of times we think that both mean the same thing or both are synonyms, but that is not the case. That's because whenever we talk about weather, we actually talk about the conditions of the atmosphere of a particular day. So if you are talking about the kind of atmosphere which we have today, so we say that the weather today is good or the weather today is not good. So whenever you are talking about a particular day, it is what you are talking about is weather. Now different locations can have different weather conditions. For example, it might be snowing in Jammu and Kashmir on a particular day, whereas it might be dry on the same day in Kerala. So weather changes from day to day basis. It is not necessary that if today you have a very cloudy weather, tomorrow also you will have similar type of weather. It might be sunny tomorrow. So now the question is, how do we determine how is the weather? How do we say that whether if the weather is good or bad? So for that purpose, there are few elements of weather. So when we talk about weather, we are basically talking about a few things. So those things are termed as the elements of weather. So these elements are temperature. So if the temperature of the atmosphere is very high, then we will feel hot. So we say that the weather is hot today. If the temperature is very low, again we will say that it is very cold today. So whether the day is hot or cold, that is determined by temperature. Next is rainfall. So rainfall is another very important element of weather. So if it rains heavily, we say again it's a rainy day, the weather is bad. If it doesn't rain, in that case also the weather becomes dry. So how much amount of rainfall is there, that also determines the weather of the particular day. The third element of weather is humidity. Now you see, what is humidity? First of all, humidity is nothing but the amount of moisture present in the air. So what is this moisture? Have you ever felt that after heavy rainfall, sometimes the environment becomes very humid? I mean, you feel sweaty kind of thing on your skin. So what is this? This is nothing but presence of moisture or water in either in the form of liquid, that is liquid droplets, or in the form of water vapor in the atmosphere. Now water vapor cannot be seen because it is very small molecules of water. So we cannot see them with naked eye. Now, it has been observed that warm water can hold more water vapor than cold air. So, therefore, when the air is warm, the moisture content of the air is more. And therefore, when humidity is more, we feel the air is wet. So, humidity is all about moisture in the air. So you can actually feel the wet air, and that is when we say that the weather is humid. And generally the weather is humid after rainfall because there is a lot of moisture in the environment. So that is when you can actually feel humidity. Next is wind speed. So how is wind speed an element of weather? So have you ever seen storms and extremely high winds blowing at certain times, especially during a thunderstorm just before rainfall? You would have seen these kind of winds blowing. So that also impacts the weather. So when it is very windy, so do you feel comfortable? Let's suppose you are walking on the street and suddenly a huge thunderstorm comes in. I mean, it's like taking you away. So the wind is that high speed. So will that make you feel comfortable? Not really. So because this wind speed is also an element of weather, so it is also a change in the atmosphere which can affect you. So wind speed is another important element. Clouds. What are clouds? Clouds are a collection of tiny water droplets or tiny ice crystals. So these water droplets, they get accumulated in the atmosphere, and then when you actually have too much of accumulation of these water droplets, they fall as what we call as rainfall, and that is called precipitation. So these droplets are very small and light, and that is why they float in the air and they form clouds. So actually clouds are nothing but tiny, very, very tiny water droplets. And presence of clouds make the weather cloudy. So sometimes it's a cloudy day, and generally cloud is followed by rainfall. That's because gradually the water droplets are accumulating, and when too much of accumulation happens, they fall as rain. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.